Welcome back friends, this is Fraser from Art Studio. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing fine. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I created this effect of water flowing from the tap and then collecting on the sink a little bit. With the animation and the process I'll show you. So let's jump in and I'll walk you through. So let me turn off the animation for now. So as you can see, the setup over here is a simple basin wall. I've done some basic texturing and I have over here the tap. Okay, so let's do it one by one. So let's go to somewhere in the middle. Okay, as you can see, I have a cylindrical mesh over here, which is basically a cylinder. Okay, there are two things over here. Okay, for animating this water, tap water. Okay, so if I go to the first frame, you can see as the handle rotates, the water starts flowing out, right? So the first thing, that is, initially there's no water and then this scales out and reaches its maximum length, hitting the surface of the basin. Okay, so for this, basically simply you can see, if I go to the channel box over here, I have used scale Y, okay, or animated the scale Y attribute over here. So on the fourth frame, it is having negligible scale where it is still inside the tap, the water mesh, and by the time it reaches to 14th frame, the scale is 1 where it reaches the basin over here. Okay, so this is one animation, which is a simple mesh animation I've created with the scale Y for this starting of the flow. Okay, another most important animation over here is where I've used this wave deformer. So in the channel box, I've just kept the wave handle over here. So this is a tap water wave handle. Okay, just let me zoom out a bit. This is the tap water wave handle. I hope you can see. And this wave handle is basically producing this ripple effect. Okay, as you can see, it's not flowing straight. It is giving that wavy motion. So that is due to this wave handle. So I've done a couple of things. The wave handle's position, most important. The center of this has to be just at the point of the nozzle where the water will come out from. Okay, that is one. Next, I have oriented and aligned this wave handle along the axis of this flow of water. Okay, so you can see this rotation is along the axis is 90 degrees. So this is what I've done. Okay, so I've rotated the handle 90 degree along the x-axis to align it with the flow of the water. You can check out the settings over here or the values I've used. You can take a snapshot from here. I have a zoom version over here. You can see on the zoom screen over here. So you can see all the attributes. If you can want, you can take the snapshot. So I have just used amplitude as 0.1 to give it a very subtle wave, and also the wavelength is 0.5. So few waves, and offset basically is animating. Okay, so on the fourth frame, the basic animation of this flow starts. Okay, and till the 24th frame, we have the complete single cycle, we can say. Okay, so there the offset is -5 because it's going in reverse, it's coming downwards, right? So that's why -5 is the offset to align with the speed of the animation. The drop off is also very important over here. So drop off is -0.3 so that the initial part doesn't show any wavy animation. The waves or the ripples, see, as you can see, are starting after a certain part when it comes down. Okay, so initially it's not moving so much basically. Okay, so for that I've used this drop off. Okay, -0.3. And next is the max radius. Max radius is 2. Why? Basically this length should be, or the radius of this circle, you can see the handle should cover the length of the mesh. In your case the mesh may be longer, so for that, in that case, to cover the animation throughout the mesh, you have to tweak the max radius based on that. As simple as that. So friends, I hope you have understood this part, the water flow. So there are a couple of things, as I told you. There is the wave deformer, where the animation of the ripple or the wavy motion is taking place for this water, and the other one is the mesh animation, where scaling is taking place from 0 to 1, from the point where it starts to flow and then it reaches very quickly the first, and then the whole animation loops. Okay, why? Because I have using the graph editor, as I've shown you earlier also in my previous tutorials. If you've checked how to use the wave deformer, you know the basics of the animation in details. If you haven't seen, please click the I button above and check the previous video. Let me just show you quickly what I've done with the graph editor. Okay, so as you can see the handles over here. So this one is for your tap water shape, that is the scaling. So the scaling I've given, like, it starts off quickly, just maintains the level. So for that reason the wave is like this, and this is for our wave deformer. Okay, so that's linear, using this linear handle, and for the curves to keep it looping, pre-infinity and post-infinity I've used as cycle with offset. Okay, so as simple as that. So I've been using this same for rest all the animations. Okay, this linear and post and pre-infinities. Okay, so done with the tap water animation. I'll just hide this for now. Coming to the water on the basin. Okay, so this is basically a simple disc over there on top of the cylinder, and given subdivisions. Again, I've used this wave deformer over here. If I just turn on the wave deformer for the sink, you can see this is the wave deformer. Okay, so you can again take a snapshot of the values over here. Amplitude is 0.02, wavelength is 0.2, and offset is animating. And drop off and next rest of things I haven't done anything, because simply I just want to show this ripples formation. Okay, as you can see the ripple formation, okay, of the water flowing back into the basin. Okay, so that animation is there, okay, using the wave deformer. And for the orientation, wave deformer orientation is along this axis, so there's no change over here. Only animation is with the offset. If I just show you the handle or the mesh over here, this, so 14 it will come down, so it needs to like start from bottom, so it will start around 12, and by 14 when the water is like gets collected, it will start appearing over here. That's why this handle animation offset starts from 12. Okay, and by the 30th frame we have the first cycle complete for this animation, but it doesn't appear till, like, say after 30th frame. You can see it appearing, because it takes some time for the water to collect, right? So for this movement, basically I've done again animated the mesh. Okay, I have animated for this movement, basically for this water over here I have animated the mesh. So you can see there's a translate Y animation taking place on translate Y. So on the 12th frame, when the water reaches down, we start the animation around 0 position, wherever it is on the below the basin, and about the 40th frame it reaches this level where it will remain constant for a while before gaining back. Okay, so that's as simple as that. So a couple of animations here as well. One, translate Y for moving it upward. Okay, if I just turn the wireframe, you can see it's down. Okay, so it's like below the sink initially. Okay, and as this water comes down and hits here, it starts moving up along with the wave animation, and then with the same process using the graph editor, I have kept it looping, so it continues till the 120th frame of animation of 5 seconds, just to demonstrate it for a longer period, so that we can capture it. Okay, so that's there, as simple as that. I hope, friends, you are following along pretty well. If you have any doubts or queries, you can just comment and ask me. Don't forget to take the snapshots for the values. Over here, I kept the zoom window over here open, so you can see clearly. You can take the snapshots for the mesh, for the handles. Okay, for this handle as well, for the tap water. Okay, let me just turn this on. So that's for the tap water. Okay, you can see the values. You can take a snapshot of that. And yeah, couple more things. Let me just discuss about the shading part. So this is, as you can see, simple viewport. It's not rendered, but still we are getting that effect. So for that we've done something, some adjustment on the shaders. Yeah. So for the water mesh, basically simply blend is there, but along with the blend I have used for the color node, I've used this water shader. Okay. So for default water shader you get from Maya, that I've used, and under the color balance I've used this blue color to give this blue effect. Just tweak these values a bit, so you can take the snapshot if you want. I'll just leave it here, so you can take the snapshot. Okay, that's for your water material here. And for the color as well as for the bump, I use the same mode. Okay, the water shader. Another thing is, as you can see, it's reflecting pretty well. Okay, so even the ceramic tiles is reflecting. For that, simply I've used this reflected color. On the reflected color, I have used for creating fake reflection, like without the rendering, for the tap, for the ceramic, and for the water. I have used basically the HDRI image over here on the ENV or the environment globe. So I'll just show you once more how I've done. Just select water or any mesh. So on the reflected color, I have used this ENV sphere. Okay, that's the node where you get from, like when you add textures, you go to get file, right? So if you just scroll down, you get various other types of nodes also, as different types of shaders you can add, connect to the basic material. Okay, like on the blend, I have added this on the reflect color, this ENV sphere. So this ENV sphere basically will give us the fake HDRI reflection, like we have in Arnold or any other like image based lighting. Okay, IBLs. This HDRI image, as you can see, has been applied to this file or texture node here of the environment ENV sphere, which is applied to the reflected color. So the reflected color has the ENV sphere, and the ENV sphere has this HDRI image. As simple as that. And that is basically giving us the fake reflection on the tap. For the tap material I've done, for the ceramic material, as well as for the water I've done. Same thing. So rest is very simple. So there's no Arnold rendering over here, just to show you in the viewport, because Arnold gives a black effect with the reflections and all. If you want, you can play this as well. Okay, with normal render, so it will be like cost effective, and it will also be faster. So you can use this for cartoons as well. If you want, you can just change the shader a little bit, color it a little bit, the style a little bit, to give it a more cartoony look. And if you want to go with realistic, then maybe you can change a little bit with these to give it more crystal and more seamless kind of realistic look. As simple as that. So friends, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and learned something valuable from it. And if you have, please like my video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. Last thing, I think I just missed on with the tap animation. So I've also animated the tap over here. As you can see, on the first frame it's like 0, and on the 10th frame it turns about 77 degrees, rotate along the y-axis. Like this is basically in sync with the flow of the water, so it's like almost here halfway and the water starts flowing. So entire water animation is following up with this tap rotation. So the tap rotates, this water comes out, and then as this water hits the basin, you can see the water from the basin gets collected, and then we have this ripples. Okay, so if I just play it once more from the beginning, let's deselect this. So that's what we have. Alright friends, then see you in the next tutorial. Till then, take care, goodbye, and stay safe.